Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, which is one which has been a long time coming. I'm very excited about, and I'm sure you're very excited about it as well, because, you know, I do love it when a new riff gets released, and I love it even more when I get the opportunity to check it out and show it off to you guys. So I want to say a big shout out to Novritsch and the team all over there for hooking me up with this. I'm very, very grateful. You're very beautiful people. Thank you very much for that. Today we're going to have our, you know, a sneaky peek at the brand new SSX303. How did I almost say that wrong? 303 DMR sniper pistol-y type thingy, or you know, you know what I mean. And here it is. Although we're not going to spend much time with the box because I've already taken it out of the box. And instead of looking at the box, which is very pretty by the way, but there's not really anything there we need to look at. Instead, we're just going to look at it straight, not in the box. Here, look at that. Boom, there it is. Ah. Now, first of all, when I got this out, I must say I was quite taken back by the sheer weight of it. Like, genuinely, like the weight of it is something which is, it's comfortable, but I expected it to be a lot lighter. I guess maybe it's down to the materials that they used to make it, because this whole frame is just like solid metal. It is machined really, really nicely as well. Like, it's super, super nice. Like, if I give you a bit of a close-up on it there, you can see that all of the edges are so nicely machined. Like, all of the M-lock grooves in here, again, they are so beautifully done. No sharp edges. I'm not like cutting my fingers if I run my fingers like up and down it at all. Like, it's just super smooth. The paint job is super nice, and yeah, it's just a really nice like overall finish. So top marks there for it. There is a bit of an odd shape design. I kind of feel like that this flat bit at the bottom, it doesn't really fit my current C grip that I kind of like to use with other riffs and whatnot, but I'll get used to that. My grip has already changed a little bit to accommodate it, because usually I'd bend my hand around all the way like this, but with this kind of shape, my hand's already kind of like changed more to a sideways kind of hold with my thumb there. Also, because I'm going to run a camera on this, if I've got the camera on this rail here, I'm not really going to be able to hold it like this anyway, because my thumb would be in front of the lens. So this is going to be more of a like holding it like this anyway. As you may or may not know, it has got a modified SSX303 inside there. So if you are a Mark 23 fan, you'll recognize the bottom grip of this. Also, it takes the exact same magazine, so it's like your kind of like standard Mark 23 magazine there, which is all lovely stuff. It does come with just the one magazine, which I guess is fine. Like, it would always be nice for more guns to come with more mags in there, but at the same time, you can buy other mags, so you don't really need to, you know, have so many of them come with the gun. One thing that is really weird for me when like kind of like holding this gun is because it's got the Mark 23 lower receiver, it makes me want to cock it. Like, there's the hammer here inside the like the kind of like the metal structure, and usually on a Mark 23, where's my one? Usually on a Mark 23, when I'm using it like that, when I take my shot, I want to cock it first, and then, you know, I'll pew pew at people. But generally speaking, that's when I'm close to people and I don't want them to hear like the extra like clicky noises. Although, to be fair, this one is super, super quiet, so there's no real extra noise there. It's just something about like cocking it like this I quite like. I guess it's probably similar to this when you cock a sniper rifle, like a bolt action sniper rifle. There's something really cool about knowing that you're preparing for the shot, and then the next time you pull the trigger, you're going to be pewing somebody like somewhere on their body. It's nice. Overall impressions of this, build quality feels super high. This is like solid metal all around, and it is one piece machined. All of this down here, this part here is a separate bit, the bit that has the stock on it there. So if you take the screws out here and on the top, this bottom bit like kind of comes off, and then you can see the hammer of the SSX23, modified SSX23, that's inside of there. The reason this is called the SSX303 is it's got a 303mm barrel inside it, which is, you know, a pretty decent length for most kind of riffs out there. Ideally, in a sniper type gun, I would rather have a longer barrel, but I'm going to see how this performs first of all, and then going from there, I may put a cheeky longer barrel in there. And then also, I do ideally want to have the Novritsch suppressor, because it's quite a fat boy, put that on the end of it, and then, you know, if my barrel came out further, then I can kind of cover that up. I do have a spare 475mm Maple Leaf Crazy Jet barrel somewhere, so potentially I could put that in here to test it, but I do need to check the FPS of this first of all, because if I put a longer barrel in and this is already like at limits, that is going to put me over, so we'll have to see how that is. But on first impressions, like, this does feel really, really nice. It's solid, it's well constructed. When you take the shot, it sounds and feels really nice. Look, I feel like I am getting a little bit of vibration through the buffered tube, so potentially there is some room for me to stuff some foam in to take that vibration out. Like, this buffer tube looks hollow all the way down to here. I think this is actually like machined onto the to this main part here. So what I could potentially do is get some foam, stuff the buffer tube with that, and then take this piece off, and any gap that's inside of here, put some foam in there too. As a pistol kind of like carbine, it's what I kind of would expect it to be. And if I put a suppressor on the end, that's definitely going to reduce the sound of that. Let me actually grab a suppressor and test that. There we go, I've got one here. It is quite a thin one, as you can see, but we'll pop that on there and see if there is any kind of like difference in the audio. There we go, all on there now. Let's take a little shot. That is different. That is a fair amount different. It is still quite loud though, I'd say, but again, there's not a huge amount of room in the suppressor to take out the volume. Also, this suppressor isn't fully stacked with foam. I have got a gap in the middle here. There's only some foam here and some foam in here. So a fully foam suppressor would probably take that down even more. But that does sound better with it. It is more hidden, and especially you're going to be taking enemies out at a further distance away. So I'd like to think that you wouldn't hear this as much when you're out in the field. That is nice. This suppressor though, aesthetically on this gun, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it looks a little bit too narrow, a bit too small. Like the one that's on the box is the Novritsch suppressor, and I think aesthetically that really does add to the gun. I think that looks really, really nice on this. So we're gonna see if we can acquire the Novritsch suppressor to put on the end of this. Now, I don't have the official like Novritsch scope at all, but I am going to whack a couple of other accessories on here, and then we'll have a little look at what it looks like. And there we go, I have put a few extra accessories on, specifically a scope which is very similar to the one that they have on the Novritsch website. This, however, is the New Pro 1.25 to 5 times scope, and it's a very similar design. I quite like the fact that you can really move around how far the eye relief is on it, because of the type of mount you have. You can kind of like flip the scope around and mount it the other way and have it super far forward or super far back. And in this case, I've gone for the far back option, and it is really, really nice. Also, I put my Runcam Scope Cam 4K on there, as that's the one that I would probably use with this, potentially the 25mm. And again, that's something which I'm trying to get my hands on at the minute. So that would be sick to replace on there. And with the, like I said, with the hand style, if I ran a normal C grip, then my thumb is definitely going to get in the way of the lens. So at the moment, I'm kind of more running with my hand like this on the side. And this feels comfortable. I think this feels really, really doable. And yeah, all in all, it's quite weighty. It feels like you have got something, but it's nowhere near as heavy as like an SRS or something like that. I do need to work out a potentially like a face-facing camera, if that makes sense, so I can kind of like see my face when I want to shoot some videos with this, because I definitely do want to shoot some videos with this. And potentially somewhere as well to put a battery pack to power the cameras. Maybe I can make like an M-lock style holder on it or something similar to that. But yeah, all in all, I must say that I'm very happy with this. Very surprised with it at the moment too. Like, genuinely really surprised. I ran it through a chrono earlier on, and it was coming up pretty much perfectly on the limit of my sight limits over here in the UK. It was coming up as 1.77 joules, which is pretty much equivalent to 450 FPS on 0.2 BBs. And that is something I'm super happy with. It does mean though that unless I get the valves to change the pressure coming out through the breath, I won't be able to put that longer barrel in, as I said earlier, because if I put the longer barrel in now, it's going to increase my FPS, and yeah, I'm not going to have a good time with that. As for BBs, I am using the Novritsch 0.46 gram BBs in here as well. It lifts them beautifully, and yeah, I feel like everything is ready now to take this in the field, although I would like some more magazines. I will be running the same gas and the same weight BB in my standard TM Mark 23, so in regards to those kind of working together, they should be all right, to be fair. And I am tempted to get the Hadron Design feed lips as well, just because, again, I've heard lots of good things. So potentially there will be a few little upgradey bits, but generally speaking at the minute for the internals, I'm not planning to touch it. If I do get the valves though for it, then potentially I could put a longer barrel in. But I think that I'm super confident that my first game day using this, none of that is going to change, and I'm going to be running it completely stock. And yeah, I do love running guns stock because it's always interesting to see what they can do out of the box just on their own. But yeah, there you go. The stock that comes with it, like here, is super nice. You can also fold the back flap down if you want to. If I just pop this pin out here, that folds down so you can easily get to stuff if you need to get to your stuff. And of course, if you wanted to swap this out for another one, you can just pull that down, slide it off, and then the world is your oyster. You can put any stock on there that you want to. And that's it for this video. So again, another huge shout out to Novritsch for sending this across to me. Super happy with it, and I really can't wait to get it out in the field and see what damage I can do with this to the enemy team. Huge shout out as well to all of my wonderful patrons for supporting the channel month on month. You really are helping, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for your help. I really, really mean it. And lastly, of course, thank you to you for watching. Thank you to the Discord community for being amazing. And also, as a little cheeky note for you, Project Airsoft, we're going to be working on some accessories for the SSX303 and also for the Novritsch Lees, which you may be able to see in the background a little bit because I've got some stuff on over there. So yeah, working on some cool plans for what we can do to make this even better. So keep an eye out that in the future, and check out the website now because there's tons of cool stuff on there at the moment. And until next time, thank you all again for watching. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.